I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Most of me being in the hospital was a blur. I didn't really pay attention to my surroundings. I didn't know anything outside of the hospital.
The story will keep on going until I don't know. Yes, he came back, but there's more. And I cannot wait to know what happens next.
The summer of 2020 was filled with anticipation. Sure, Jacob Bush was expecting walks through the tunnel to be tough. He was going into his sophomore year and ready to take the next step. He had no idea that his journey through Steele Stadium and life would be in serious jeopardy.
Every workout that I would go to, my dad would always take me, most of the time on his motorcycle, and he'd always give me a hug, give me a fist bump, and say, kick it in the, we'll say, butt.
I knew my child was a fighter. He was a fighter when I had him at 32 weeks. I went into labor with him at 18 and 22 weeks. I had him at 32 weeks. And I knew right then and there that my child would be a fighter all his life.
That fighting spirit, it gave him a chance as a 15-year-old. Out for a meal with his family, he and his dad never saw what was coming.
The accident happened August 4th, 2020. My daughter and I were right behind the accident. I knew that my husband was passed away.
Authorities confirm the motorcyclist, 41-year-old Jeremy Bush, died in that crash. Bush was also a firefighter with the South Bend Fire Department.
Jacob, he was thrown off the motorcycle over 40 feet in the air, and they were putting him on the stretcher. All he wanted to do was go see his dad, and he tried to get off the stretcher, and one of the paramedics told me that he's never seen anything like this. He knew that Jacob had strength in him, and he was not going to give up.
Bush's 15-year-old son, who was a passenger on the motorcycle, was reportedly taken to the hospital. As of now, his condition is unknown.
The doctors and nurses warned me, you know, this is, Jen, this is a huge 48-hour wait, and Jacob actually stopped breathing twice, and they brought him back to life.
Jacob was in a coma for 4 days. Doctors didn't know if he would make it.
And one of the nurses said, Jen, you need to get to the hospital right now. Jacob is alert and conscious, and he's pulling out his breathing tube. That's huge.
My leg, it was supposed to be amputated, but they reconstructed it, and I have a huge rod right here, some screws right here, some screws right here. My elbow broke or fractured, and like 2/3 of my tricep burnt off. And then my head, this goes throughout the entire thing.
There came a time in the hospital that Mom had to break the news to Jacob. His dad would not be coming to see him.
Oh, bad day, bad day. Very, very, very hard. And I held his hand, and I told him that, you know, Dad didn't make it. And he looks at me, he's like, okay, I'm gonna be the man of the house now, right, Mama? I'm like, yep. And I'm like, I want you to do what you want to do, Jacob Vincent Bush, because you can do anything. It's like, I'm gonna get out of the hospital. I'm like, okay.
The game of football was probably the main thing that pushed me to want to be where I am now. My coaches played a huge role in it, teaching me lessons of not quitting and just doing things not only for yourself, but for everybody, not just yourself.
Jacob walked out onto the football field 6 weeks after the accident.
To remember Jeremy, both teams were given t-shirts with his badge number 483 on it. Tonight we also have a special guest, Jeremy's son, Jacob. Jacob was involved in that crash, and he's fought his way back through a tough rehab. He had a goal of returning to the football field before his 16th birthday. we can make that wish come true tonight here at the Rock Pile. Football fans, let's give a big round of applause to Jacob, his mother Jennifer, and sister Jillian. Number 57, Jacob Bush.
He's Jacob Strong. Nothing is going to stop my child. Nothing will ever stop him.
Aside from the fact that Dad would want me to do this, I just wanted to return to football.
The love of the game. He never scored a touchdown. College scouts didn't call. But Jacob Bush fought to play, to practice, to walk out of that tunnel, to run onto the field. Now he gets to start his final high school season, and you better believe he'll cherish every moment.
I can't take it for granted. That's all I know. I cannot take it for granted.
And every day is a gift, and he knows that.
Comeback story would play into it, but there's definitely a lot more.
There's still more to the story, and it's going to keep on going and going for a very long time.
At the